So guys, we're back to my old school camera here, which I think you guys will like better because it has better sound. Anyway, wanting to do a small demonstration. Whenever efficiency comes up, some of the less well-educated in paintball science will talk about how the gun cycling itself affects the efficiency, and from that I mean like the rammer or the spool valve, whether they, like spring mod, because evidently that uses half the energy. That's not even close to true, but we can get into how the spring mod actually works later. But this is just a quick demonstration to show how much air, or how the percentage of air, whether it's used to cycle the gun versus propel the paintball, and just how vast the difference is between those. So I have my Carnivore here in training mode, so it doesn't fire the main valve solenoid, the clackernoid. Just uses the pneumatic one up here to cycle the back block using the ram. Now a lot of people will argue that, oh, a spool valve has a different configuration of ram, or a poppet valve has a different configuration of ram, but fundamentally they operate the exact same way. It's just a piston with air supplied to one side or air supplied to the other side, and more or less it uses a similar amount of air because it has to move a similar amount of mass at a similar speed, right? We're talking factor of 10 kind of accuracy here. So, but it turns out factor 10 accuracy is plenty good for the demonstration at hand. So we could just cycle the gun without firing the air, and this gun has a check valve style regulator that holds air in it. So if I turn the air back off completely, so now the air is completely off, I can pull the pin out to demonstrate. Now usually a gun will get, like maybe one full shot and then maybe a couple of slightly muted shots after that of air out of the same valve chamber. But on like a Carnivore here, we can see you get a lot more. So you can look and say maybe that's 25 shots, so or 25 cycles. So it takes about 25 times less air to cycle the gun as it does to fire it just once, and that tells us that the cycling air is not that important when it comes to efficiency. By far, the valve dynamics is what determines efficiency. And that's why things like the spring mod, people say, well, it takes half as much air to recock the gun. Well, first off, that's not true. Secondly, the reason why the spring mod works has nothing to do with how the bolt cycles. It has everything to do with how the valve is controlled. And other efficiency improvements, they're all valve based. Nothing has to do with how the gun cycles, because frankly it's unimportant. If you wanted to sit here and cycle this gun for a whole 68-45 tank, this gun maybe gets 13 to 1400 shots. Using our simple mathematics, say 20 times, 20x, I mean, let's look at this. So 1400 times 20, that's 28,000 cycles you could put on a gun with the same amount of air as it would take to fire the gun 1400 times. So we can see that how the gun cycles has very, very little to do with efficiency. It's all about how the valve is open and closed, and how the valve is controlled. So that was a quick demonstration, and I have some other little teasers to show you. Got some old school guns tours coming up, some AKA goodness. Just stay tuned, and next week we'll get to some old school guns. I love the old school guns tour, so talk to you guys later.